Yeah, thanks a lot, Dr. Satyajit. And I will be, without delaying any time, I'll be talking on cataract surgery in a uveitic eye. No financial disclosure. Uveitis and pandemic, Dr. Satyajit has already said, if all the patients have suffered a lot because of lockdown in reaching hospital on time or inability of timely proper diagnosis or treatment, inadequate treatment, especially in case of patients on self-medication like recurrent uveitis, patients have got treated but not adequately, or difficulty or misdiagnosis during online consultation, especially in the posterior uveitis. So I'll just talk about the cataract surgery in uveitis. All the patients have already suffered, but and a lot of time they have lost, a lot of they have suffered, but life has to move on. So let's move on. Cataract surgery in uveitis. The clinical course management and visual outcome depends on the type of cause of uveitis, and preoperative diagnosis of the etiology and management of the uveitis is essential prognostic factor. Infectious and treatable cause of uveitis should be identified and managed before surgery. Systemic cause, it's a multi-system disease, and the systemic cause of the uveitis should be identified and controlled preoperatively. Surgical outcome, we know, depends on the different type of uveitis. Like we have a good uveitis, Fuchs, like posterior, like pars planitis, we have a good surgical outcome in these cases. But juvenile rheumatoid arthritis or Behçet disease, we have a poor visual outcome. So we have to be careful about telling and informing the patient about the visual outcome after the surgery. Indication of the surgery is a little bit different in these cases than the normal cataract. Surgery is a little bit different if patient doesn't have a significant visual impairment or impaired fundus examination or photoantigenic uveitis. But if all these things are there, we have to do the surgery. There is no other option because patient is also affected. Now, preoperative assessment, most important thing is establish etiology, diagnose of the uveitis, and control the inflammatory part. Assess visual potential, very important in uveitic eye. We can do the pinhole vision, OCT, ultrasound, or potential actinometer. All these things are parameter things to assess the visual potential. Slit lamp examination is very important to identify the type of cataract, pupil size, posterior synechia, or pupillary membrane. We have to identify, diagnose, and then only take care of all these things. All these uveitis patients, they have a concomitant pathologies, and because of this delay in a pandemic, probably these concomitant pathologies becomes a very important, and they may have, a patient may have an uncontrolled glaucoma or maybe the optic atrophy itself. So before doing the surgery, we have to identify concomitant pathologies and treat them. Even the CME in the macular, epiretinal membrane, retinal status, vitritis, all these things are there, which is very important. And because of the delay in the treatment, this part becomes very important, and the final visual outcome. Preoperatively, we know we need a quiet eye. Inflammatory cells must be eliminated, and absence of cells more important than the absence of flare. Minimum cushion period is 3 months. It should be achieved either with a topical, periocular, systemic steroid, or maybe immunosuppressive in some cases where things are not getting controlled. Surgical options, like if we have, like any other cataract surgery, phaco with posterior segment, posterior chamber IOL, like foldable IOL, is the preferred choice. And if there's no posterior segment pathology, posterior segment pathology is there, then probably we might combine the cataract surgery with the VR procedure. In some cases, even the lensectomy, where we don't decide to put the IOL, but nowadays, most of the time, most of the cases, we decide to put the IOL. So now there are some uveitis which is favorable for the IOL and some which is not favorable for IOL. Fuchs or pars planitis, anti-uveitis, these are the favorable for the IOLs. And some uveitis like JRA, it's not favorable for the IOL. Even Behçet's or recurrent chronic granulomatous uveitis, where the patients are having the recurrent uveitis, they may not do very well with the IOL. So this can be the relative contraindication, but JRA is a contraindication. Most of the time, we avoid IOL in JRA if you're doing the cataract surgery. The surgical difficulty, most of the time, cataract is not very hard or very difficult in uveitic eyes. Mainly is the pupil. Pupil is the most important culprit, and we get and pupil doesn't dilate, and most of the time we have a posterior synechia, pupillary membrane or pupillary sclerosis, fragile iris, increased vascular fragility, or exuberant postoperative inflammation. So basically, pupil is the main culprit, not the cataract. So how to take care of this? So small pupil management Small people management, we know we have a anatomically fixed people, and once we have a anatomically fixed people, we have a device, mechanical devices which can take care of these things. So we have a iris hooks, we have a Coughlin hooks for stretching, we can stretch the iris, or we have a iris rings also. And sometimes rarely we use a sphincterotomy or iridotomy, but usually it is, we don't need to cut the iris. All these pupillary devices, they can take care very well. Like we have a posterior synechia, like in this case, if we have a posterior synechia, people was not dilated very well, but with the moment we remove the synechia, and we can see now people is fairly well dilated. And once we get this kind of people, there's no problem. We can just go ahead and do the cataract surgery directly, but we are not always lucky like this. Like in this case, after removing the synechia, also we didn't have an adequate size of the pupil. So here, what we did, we just use the Coughlin hooks. Basically, it's a 4-point stretching. Don't try to overstretch the iris, so patient should not have a like mid-dilated pupil or have a symptoms in post-operative period. So if you have this kind of moderately dilated pupil and cataracts are not very difficult cataracts, we can do the cataract surgery without any problem. By any chance, if we are not able to do the cataract, like if we don't get the adequate size of the pupil, if pupil is coming down in between, we can use the irises or pupillary expander. There are sometimes the iris membrane or fibrous bands are there. So if we have a fibrous band, like in this case, we try to remove the synechia, and after that I try to remove the fibrous membrane. And once I thoroughly remove the fibrous band, put the viscoelastic, then people who was relatively dilated, mid-dilated, and I could finish the surgery. But if by any chance, if we don't get the adequate, we can use the hooks and other methods. There's no problem in that. Now the IOL. See, cataract is not a very difficult thing. Most of the IMS soft cataract is there, but IOL it's very important. We should always put the IOL in the back. Avoid sulcus implantation or ACIOL or SFIOL iris claw lenses in these cases. And IOL design and material, previously we used to use the heparin sulfate modified lenses, but now the choice is we use only hydrophobic acrylic IOL. And in the bag, hydrophobic acrylic IOL, they do very well. Sometimes after putting the IOL in the bag, if you don't have the adequate size of the pupil, and if you feel posterior segment pathology is there, we can just give the small nick in and do the sector in sector iridotomy. I usually prefer in the inferior nasal quadrant to do the sector iridotomy. And then if posterior segment pathology is there, can combine with the steroids, IVT also. So post-operative inflammation is very important. To control the inflammation, we have a steroid. During the surgery, we give conjunctival decadron and atropine in all the cases, or even some cases where it is required, the posterior subclinical stricot, or even IVT if it's required. So steroid is the mainstay. And after the surgery, we use intensive topicals and cycloplegics during the initial course of the disease. Systemic steroid, if required, if we feel the inflammation is very high, then we can use the systemic steroid also short term. And NSAIDs. NSAIDs are very important in these cases, and we should use the NSAID for the long term to avoid the recurrent uveitis. Anti-glaucoma medication, most of the time these cases require anti-glaucoma medication. So we use judicial anti-glaucoma medication in these cases. To conclude, uveitis and cataract surgery, it's challenging. If we do the proper preoperative assessment, control of inflammation, meticulous surgery, lead to satisfactory visual outcome. That's what the conclusion.